So, since it's the end of the year, I would like to rank all the maps, and that way next year I can compare them. Alright, let us start with Splatoon 1 maps, then we'll go to the Splatoon 2 maps, and then the new maps from Splatoon 3. Museums in S tier. You have lots of ways to move into the map. You have lots of ways to push back in, lots of ways to move around. You have the right flank, you have the middle of the map, and then you have the left side. The right side is really, really good, especially for like front range, for shorter range weapons. And on clams, you got the right block, or the block on the left back, which is really, really good. Mahi. Mahi is small. It is tiny. There was nowhere to move. And the flank sucks. Hammerhead, it's like Walleye. Super lockout heavy. Very hard to get back in without using specials like missile. Yeah. Flounder Heights is in S tier. This is the best map in the game. Why? Because there are lots of ways to move around the map. This thing has more flanks than Museum. There's more way to move. Sure, the tower path is a bit awkward. But like, it's still really good. And I think it's a really fun map. I think it's really good. Malcolm Art is an S tier. It's just all around a really solid stage. Like, there's lots of ways to move. Sure, the right flank isn't as good. That's why I think these two maps are better. But it's still overall a very good map. There's lots of ways to move around. And there's also ways to play the map. So I think it's really good. Sturgeon Shipyard, I think, is an A. Honestly, it feels a bit worse than it was in Splatoon 1. Or not Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2. Feels a little bit more lockout heavy. And on tower, it's good. On zones, it's alright. Rainmaker, it's alright. And clams, it's EU. Because you can literally just stand on top of snipe and not get hit. So yeah, Sturgeon is a bit more lockout heavy than it was in Splatoon 2 because the movement specials are weaker. They don't do as much. Inkblot. Inkblot's A. I think Inkblot is good. It's good on tower, it's good on clams, and it's okay on its zones is doable. It's not fun, but it's doable, and Rainmaker is barely doable. The one route is just really bad, but it's still pretty good. Probably search a bit better. Alrighty. Wahoo World is a D. Wahoo World just kind of sucks. Zones, it's like playable, but on any other mode, no. No. Why? Because mid is like inaccessible. Sure, tower is barely accessible. And what your other route to get into the middle of the map where the objective is for Rainmaker is the glass route, which is no. No. So yeah. Scorch Gorge is a C. This is for the new maps. First, this is a C. That was one of the worst chokes in the series. I'm confident saying that. It has one of the worst chokes in the series, but you do have multiple ways to move into the mid. Zones is not good. It is like Kelp Dome. It is not good. There aren't really many flanks on here that get you behind the enemy and allow you to move around and move back in. Sure, you can drop left and drop right, but those aren't that good. Yeah. Yield Tail is another C. It is just, what's it called? The choke. It's pretty choke heavy. Like, it's pretty hard to get out of mid on this map. And, like, put like a crab on bridge and they're not going far. It's really hard to get out of mid on this map. Sure, the bridge is nice and it actually is quite helpful on modes like Rainmaker and Clams. But other than that, it's just, it's okay. Honor to Spellway, I give a B. Honor to Spellway has like the best spawn out of the entirety of the maps. It's just that mid is super choke heavy. And that is why it's bad. Because mid is bad. Everything else is amazing. Like, if you had alternate routes, like if the glass on the sides was gone, like this would be like up here. Like easily. But it's not. So it stays in B. Now, Mincemeat. I wanted to like this stage. But it has like the worst choke in like the entirety of the series. One of them. Like one of the worst chokes, if not the worst choke. In the middle of the map. And everything else is not redeemable enough. So it goes in D. Better than Wahoo, I think, because at least you can play stuff, but it's just not fun. Everything's super stally. Like, have you seen a clams match on this map? Literally, it literally just goes to 100 overtime. Because you can't, it's super hard. It's just a straight line choke. Yeah. Hacklefish is an A. I honestly think I overrated this map a little bit. Because, I mean, like, sure, all the flanks and stuff are really good. But they're also really easy to shut down. It's like, sure, you have to worry about it. But you know what you can do? You can just put a crab on the snipe. And then the crab can just go pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, wait, you can't. Oh, let's go around and counter the crab. Oh, no, crab sees you. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew. Oh, you're dead. Or like, oh, if you don't die, then you just have to back up and go back to the middle. And then play around mid, which is kind of small. So, yeah. That being said, still the best new map. But, it's alright. Now we get to Brine Water. Brine Water, I think, is a C. Sure, it's small, like Maki, which is not good. And spawn is pretty bad. That being said, on clams, it has an ink rail, which allows you to get behind your opponents, which is really, really good because it's a good flank option that people will not see. And it's also really good on clams. It's also really good on, I just said clams. It's also really good on zones, because zones, people don't push up past the middle of the map. So you have the flank option, which allows you to get behind the people in the zone, which is pretty good. And the flank option of Brine Water is actually pretty good. But on Tower Rainmaker, once you get past middle, once you get past the middle of the map, it's Yeah. It's just a straight line, and the right route to counteract it is not good at all. So yeah. Do I feel like moving anything on the list? Do I feel like moving anything on the list? I'm gonna choose B. Do I want to move? I'm questioning whether or not I want to move Sturgeon or Inkblot down. Because at least Hagelfish is consistent, but it's just the flanks are just kind of can be easily mitigated. These two don't have good flanks on half the modes. I think I'm gonna move these down. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Brown water I could see being a C if like brown water was larger. Probably be like a B or an A, but it's still really small. Eeltail's fine, Scourge is fine, S is fine, A is fine, B is fine, C is fine, D. Wahoo is not as choke bad, so Wahoo's better than Mincemeat. I think Mincemeat's there. Well, this is my opinions on the maps. Thank you guys for listening, and Happy New Year.